Business in our field isn't the easiest.
No.
We all share the
No.
vulnerability, whereas if we lose a coach or two, it's us being dragged back into business. What we're all in this for is a work optional lifestyle. And I say it a lot, like if you can get to that point where you work because you want to, not because you have to, damn, do you enjoy your job or your business way more.
And I enjoy coaching. I have coached, I think even yesterday, I coached more classes in a single day than I typically coach in a week yesterday. And I enjoy coaching. I love coaching, good at it. It's something that brings me joy. But when I have to do it all the time, it is exhausting.
Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple six figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. All right, welcome everybody back to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Scott Carpenter. We got Andy Boy Miller with me as always. How you doing, Andy?
I am fantastic. I'm super excited to actually talk about our topic for today's podcast because at the end of the day, I guess I'm passionate about it, but everyone that probably is listening to this is probably passionate about it. But it's something that I think we don't think about enough,
Correct.
Right? Because like when we own a business, it's super easy to just get bogged down in the day-to-day, the operations of the business, the fires we have to put out, the relationships we have to manage. And sometimes we lose sight of why we're in this to begin with.
It's easy because we're just trying to get through this month,
right?
Or this quarter, or the next 6 weeks when all this happens, or whatever it is. Business in our field isn't the easiest.
No.
We all share the vulnerability, whereas if we lose a coach or two, it's us being dragged back into the business.
I'm raising my hand. You guys on the podcast can't see this because my GM is out on vacation this week, which I fully support. I love my GM. I want her to take vacation, but it showed me a glaring hole in my business because guess who gets to cover a lot of what my GM typically does?
Yep.
Me.
It's you.
So I have been working a lot more in my business this week, which just goes to show like, okay, I need to fix something because I don't want to have to be the one to step back in.
Yeah. And we all go through periods like that, whether it's just a weekend or a week, or it's 6 months, or we've just never gotten out of that right now. But that's kind of what it is, guys. It's what we're all in this for is a work optional lifestyle.
Yep.
And I say it a lot, like, man, if you can get to that point where you work because you want to, not because you have to, damn, do you enjoy your job or your business way more.
Listen, I enjoy coaching. I have coached, I think even yesterday, I coached more classes in a single day than I typically coach in a week yesterday. And I enjoy coaching. I love coaching. I'm good at it. It's something that brings me joy. But when I have to do it all the time, it is exhausting, right? Like I'm on day 4 and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to hop on a podcast with Scott because I don't know if I'm going to have any energy to talk. But at the end of the day, now it's like, okay, it is something I enjoy, but I've had to do it a lot more this week than I want to. So what the goal is that we set up our businesses so that we don't have to do this kind of work, that we enjoy it and we do it to the level that brings us enjoyment. If that's you coaching one class a week or one personal training client or one small group, great. If it's you coaching 10 hours a week, that's fine too. It's the goal of building the business so that you can have the time of freedom to coach how much you want, not how much you have to.
Yes. When you have to do it and you have to work an early and late split shift and you have to do weekends, that's okay for short periods of time, but it's really a recipe to burn out. And
when we opened our businesses, right? When I opened my gym, like, don't get me wrong, I coached 98% of the classes.
Yeah.
I was first in, I was last out. I was there on the weekends.
Same.
My coaches would be working out in class. I'm coaching class. I didn't get to work out that day, but that's what it was like in the beginning. Now the goal is to build the business, build my business so that it fits me, build my dream business so that I get to choose when I work instead of having to coach all the classes.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like your version of your dream business.
Right.
Because some people listening be like, I'm on the floor 30 hours a week and I love it.
Then great.
Excellent. Good. And that's what you like. But that could realize that can also change.
Absolutely.
You know, you maybe your kids get older and you want to spend more time with them and do more things.
Maybe you have a new kid.
Maybe you have a new kid, right? Maybe you have your first one. Maybe you have a dog. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe whatever it is. But your ideal lifestyle and what you want to do with, you know, having enough money where you don't have to worry about it. And that's where we lose sight of this bigger goal sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just get focused on paying the bills.
Right.
I mean, the reality of it is inflation has made cost of living skyrocket.
Yes.
It has also made it challenging for some members to afford services like ours, right?
Absolutely.
And marketing has gotten really difficult quite often.
There's so much competition in the market nowadays.
Oh, tons. And it's not just brick and mortar. It's all the online coaches and you name it. It's very saturated with a low barrier to entry. And so all this has made it difficult where sometimes we lose sight of the dream business and what we wanted to build in the first place.
Right.
And we just get by and we just stay small. And it's okay to stay small as long as you're spending the time how you want. And no matter what, whether you want to be coaching on the floor 30 hours a week or not, you do want to get it set up where you have the option to not to do that.
Right.
At some time in the
future.
So
that even if you do want to coach 30 hours a week, you could, and hear me out, this can be done. You go away for a week vacation and the gym doesn't need to close because you're not the one coaching.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could build your business that way. You get to coach 30 hours a week, right? Every single week. But then you're like, oh, I'm going to go take a vacation. And then your sessions are covered while you're away. That can be done. Most people sit there and go, well, I coach 30 hours. I have 2 part-time coaches that can't fill anything. How do I even do that? Well, there's steps and there's a ton of different ways to do it and approach it depending upon how you want to build it. But at the end of the day, you should be able to do that if you want to.
Yep. And, you know, so your dream, this is what we're big on. I mean, creating your dream business, which will change as you enter different stages in life.
And that's okay.
And that's okay, right? And your dream business may be having 5 locations. Other people, it's like, no, I'm good with 1. And I actually want to get this thing running where it requires 10 hours a week of my time. And that's it. And provides excellent money for my family. And I want to spend my time doing other things. I want to get into real estate or do this or that. Up to you. You know, I've kind of done all of those things as I'm finding where I want to spend my time, right? I've got multiple locations and I kind of fell backwards into helping people with their fitness businesses as a business coach, which I wasn't planning on nor I wanted to do, but I did it. And then I really realized I love it.
Yeah.
And I started spending more of my time doing that to eventually where I'm like, you know what? I can't even go into my Desert Ridge location for the 5 to 10 hours a week anymore. The travel time along with that, it's eating up too much of time. I'm going to have to give that up entirely and replace the little that I'm doing in there. I have to hand that off. And so I did that. Right. And spend majority of my time coaching. And I get really passionate on the other piece of this puzzle, which is not just making the money in the business, but getting the ability to buy your time back, get leverage with people and systems, and then to be very smart with your money. I see a lot of gym owners that make good money, but they're really poor at managing and investing it. And what happens is that they just spend more and their living expenses grow before they acquire assets that could actually, in theory, pay for that new car forever until you die. Right. Or they just go immediately into buying the tricked out, $65,000 Bronco instead of investing it into something that's going to generate passive income, which would pay for a car payment forever. Right. And so there's a couple components in this is build your dream business and that will likely change. That vision will change as you do in your stages of life. And then you got to be very good steward of your money. You've got to learn what to do on the money end of it, so that you live within your means, and you take the excess cash flow. You learn how to dig the well before you're thirsty. So you have emergency funds. You get access to credit should you need it. You learn how to really kill your tax bill so you're not paying a ton to the IRS. And then you learn how to invest that money, how to take your spare cash flow, I call your sweep, and what to do with it, right? And that's a little bit different for everybody, but really you want to temporarily sweep into high yield savings. I love putting that in an infinite banking policy, and then choosing your investment path. Is it going to be your stocks, bonds, index funds? Is it going to be real estate? Is it going to be investing in future locations or business acquisitions? Right? People that we work with in our group are doing all of those things. Right? We're analyzing a deal right now where there's a fitness center for sale, full open membership gym, where he could do a lot of value add that also includes the real estate. That also has no mortgage on it. The sellers have no mortgage on it. So he's got infinite possibilities for seller financing.
Wow, that's nice.
I am really excited for our call next Tuesday, where we're going to continue the conversation and start putting together like an A-B offer. But man, if he closes this deal and his value add, it could be huge for him.
Nice.
I mean, he'll easily be able to add, 7 figures to his net worth with this whole thing. So it's really, guys, to create a work optional lifestyle, at some point you want to have enough passive income coming in that will pay for your living expenses.
Yep.
And that's when you really can work because you want to, not because you have to. And for whatever reason, it just makes work more enjoyable.
Well, right. When you don't have to work and you get to work because you want to work, then it is more enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
It's the times where we don't want to work, when we don't want to be there at the studio until 8:00 at night, to have to get up at 4:00 to be there at 5:00 in the morning and open back up. Those are things we don't want to be doing, at least not for a long period of time. If you've got a family, maybe you don't want to be working in the evenings because that's when you get to hang out with your family. Nobody wants to do those things, right, for an extended period of time. Or what you don't want to do, you shouldn't have to do for an extended period of time. We should be able to build these businesses, and we can build these businesses so that you get to work when you want to. Like right now, yeah, I'm a little short staffed, but we're working on a fix for that. But even then, I'm probably still going to coach 1 to 2 classes per week because I want to coach them. But I'll be able to get coverage for them and go away on vacation for 2 weeks if I want without any problems.
Yeah. And you've done that. I mean, this year you've taken tons of vacations already, right?
4. I've traveled a lot this year.
You traveled a lot, and internationally, right? And you can do this stuff. And don't get me wrong, guys. It's not all like, pipe dreams and stuff like that. Like, you can do this, but it is going to be work. You are to get there. It's hard. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do in order to get in that position. But that's what entrepreneurs do. Right. We're willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do. We're willing to do those now so that we can put ourselves in a position where we never need to worry about money or have to work again in the future.
Exactly.
That's the goal. It's not a linear path to get there. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of risk. And there's a lot of investment in yourself and your own business that you have to do to get it to that point. But you can. It's just not going to happen by accident.
No, it has to have a purposeful plan on how you're going to get from point A, which is where you are now, to point B. And for most people, I'm guessing that you guys, on the other end of this that are listening to this, you're like, I've been in this for, 5 years or so, and I feel like I'm still just spinning my wheels. Well, you're going to have to do things that you haven't done before to get to places you've never been before. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes that's challenging. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're a little tired and we like to take what I like to call the easy hard way out, where it's like, well, if I just coach more, if I just, if I just work more in the business, if I'm the one that takes over cleaning or whatever, it'll make it more successful. That's the easy, hard thing to do.
Correct.
Right? It's not easy to actually do, but it's an easier thing than doing things you're not comfortable with.
It's safer.
Right. Exactly.
Well, with air quotes, right?
Right.
It's less risky that way.
Yep.
And I get it, because when you try to get more leverage with people and systems, I get it. It's a learning curve.
It is.
right? And it can set you back, and then you get scared, right? And you're like, well, I'll just take it on myself. That's not always the answer. It's not always the answer. But man, it's not easy figuring it out. And so when you can learn from somebody who's already gotten shot up or made the mistakes, do it.
Right.
I've made so many dumb mistakes, but that's the only way. It's just the reason why, like, I've done quite a bit and you've done quite a bit already is because you've gotten out there and you keep taking the chances.
Right.
Regardless of the failures and setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you learn and you just fail faster.
I think honestly, I'm just too stupid or too stubborn to quit at this point. I'm not quite sure which one it is. I honestly don't know, but either way, it's gotten me to where I am today. So, it's actually funny. It's funny that you mentioned this kind of like when you want to learn from someone, you learn from someone who's gone before. I grew up in traditional martial arts, and I don't think this was something that I learned very, very young, but I don't think it ever really hit me until being an entrepreneur and actually, especially being a coach, right, of like fitness. In martial arts, traditional martial arts, traditional like Japanese martial arts, your instructor is known as sensei, right? Like this is a term most people are familiar with. But what a lot of people don't understand is what that term actually means. And sensei, like the translation is one who has gone before. And when I was a kid, I heard that, but it didn't really make sense to me. But now, like I look back on it and I go, why am I a good fitness coach? I'm a good fitness coach because I went through the journey. Why am I good at making sure that my clients have good stable shoulders? Because I've torn my rotator cuff. Right? Why am I super important and super like detailed on deadlifting? Because I've herniated my disc. So like I am a good coach because I've done these things before. So now I know how to avoid these things and prevent you from avoiding them.
Wow. I didn't know that was that meaning. And it makes a lot of sense. You didn't know we were going to get
deep on this one, did you?
That's really good. Cause same with me. Like I became a really good trainer when I went through different injuries.
Yep.
Same thing. I had my shoulder issues. I had lower back issues. It forced me to learn. It forced me to grow from it. Right? All those things. And so I got really good working with people with injuries because I had them. I know what it feels like.
Yep.
I know what things are effective, what things aren't, what we need to do. Made me way better.
Yep.
Way better. And then, it's the same with business, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just, it's knowledge and experience that sensei has, right?
Absolutely.
And those are both valuable. Because man, without the experience, because that's the application of the knowledge is what it is. And you don't really start learning until you start doing.
Yep. But enough sentimental and philosophical talk. Not where I thought this conversation was going to go when we hopped on today. But, when we started this podcast today, I talked about the fact that this is a topic that I really love because at the end of the day, and this is what it means to me. Right? This is what owning a business means to me. And it could be different for everybody, but I want to share this because it's something that I talked about recently with a client of mine, and I didn't realize how emotional I got about it. But like I own a business so that I can create wealth for my family, but the end goal is to leave a legacy. Right? That's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing. Is I am building this, all of it. Right? The gym, the real estate that we own, the whole life and whole life insurance policy, whatever it may be, is to build a legacy because that's what my grandfather did for my family. And I want to do that for my family. I want to leave a mark. And if you guys ever meet me in person, ask me about my immortality tattoo. I have a tattoo that is on my body for a constant reminder to leave my mark on this world. And I would love to share that story and share the story of my grandfather who inspired me to do all of this. But at the end of the day, for me, guys, I own a business so that I can leave a legacy.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that with a tattoo and everything. And mine is extremely similar, and I wrote down years ago, I just didn't know how I was going to do it, is I want to inspire people to live their best lives through my writing and teaching and coaching.
Yep.
And, that's my legacy. So it's I want to change it for my family. Absolutely. Right. I want to teach about wealth, and it's just amazing what you can do through generations too.
Yep.
It's not just the money, but it's the application on how to earn that money, how to exchange value to receive money, right?
And how to get the money to work for you.
How to be a good steward of the money so that it just grows itself and the wealth grows itself, and be responsible with it.
How your money makes money babies.
Exactly. How to have your money make babies, right?
Yep.
I'm really big on that stuff. And so my kids are going to have such a big advantage because I'm going to teach them to think for themselves, right? And not just learn what to think at school, right? And memorize things. But I'm going to teach them how to challenge what they already think they know. We should always be reassessing what we think we know and being critical of it, right? So it's a combination of freedom with your time and your money and pursuing whatever passions that you have and leaving a legacy and handing it off. Because at the end of the day, I want to leave the legacy also with the information, the knowledge, and the inspiration to live your best life and explore that. But it extends from my family, but also to everybody I can inspire to go along that path as well.
Exactly.
So it's leaving a legacy, and that's important. I agree with you.
That's why I'm in this. I would love to hear, right? If you guys are listening to this and maybe you've lost track of it, right? Maybe you've lost track of why you started your business or whatnot. I want to hear it, right? Shoot me a DM on Instagram, shoot me a DM on Facebook, shoot me an email.
Yeah.
I want to hear why you guys, right, started your businesses. What is your goal? What is your end goal? And I'm not talking about making $100,000 a year in gross profit, right? Like I'm not talking about those goals. I'm talking about, much like we talk about with our clients, like what's the real reason
the why
you're here, right? What's the why on why you own your business?
Yeah.
Maybe you've forgotten it. Maybe you do know it. Either way, I want to hear it. Send it over. I would love to see them.
I would love to as well. At Coach Scott Carpenter on Instagram. I'm on Facebook more. Who knows what that is? You got to search for my name. But yeah, I'd love to hear it. Your big why. And if you're having a hard time getting to the root of it, once you have your answer, just ask, well, why do I want that?
Yep.
If you ask it that a few times, it kind of leads to the main thing.
Yep. Just keep asking, why do I want that? Why do I want $100,000? Why do I want a fancy car? Why do I want to buy a new house? Just keep asking until eventually you get to an emotion that literally, for a lack of a better term, brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah. That's kind of it. And you're right. We can have that in mind, but by the time, you've lost this coach, then that advertising play doesn't work anymore. And that we've forgotten about it. And we're in the weeds in our business and we're kind of just lost in it again.
Absolutely.
And we need to be connected to that greater why and be pulled up from it. Sometimes we need other people's help to get pulled up from that too.
We do.
Right. But the more you can connect back to that, the easier things will become for you and the more you're going to move forward. So
absolutely.
Where there's a will, there's a way, right? And that's what it is. Keep that in mind. You can, if you have a strong connection to why, you'll find the how.
Yep, absolutely.
If you keep looking for it. So that's it, guys. Got a little philosophical on you. Like, share, subscribe, whatever to this podcast. Get the word out. Keep coming back week after week. If you're getting value from this, we'd appreciate it, and it'll be good for you. So thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Listen, if you're stuck and could use some advice in your business, whether you're just starting out, a veteran in the business, or expanding online or into multiple locations, you can hop on a free call with us to pick our brains at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. You can see that in the show notes. That is with numbers. Chances are we'll be able to help you get some clarity on what you need to do specifically in your business to get to the next level. It's not a sales call. We'll connect you with the right resources to help you solve your problems. But if you want to learn more about working with us, that's cool too. We can share that information should you want it. So book your call now to get out of the rat race before your week consumes you, which is easy to do at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. That's with the number 1 on the number 1 call. You can find this in the show notes. See you soon.